Why are you up?
Because I got some important shit going on here. What do you think?
Boom, the world class.
For people because they're sick of paying for their insurance. That's another conversation.
Because many times,
However,
they don't get anything from the insurance that they pay, right? But I don't want to put you out of business.
No,
I love insurance over here.
Life's good. You're not going to change anything.
Exactly.
But here's my point, and this is kind of Hafeez's point, is you're talking about you're going to die, you're getting in a car accident, your house is going to flood, you're going to flood. And he's like, stop talking about the negative shit. What Hafeez is saying, and I'll let you kind of go from here, is, well, let's talk about what happens if that doesn't happen. Let's hear some positive stories. Let's hear about the lovely home we're going to build, the amazing car we're going to drive in, the fact that my house isn't going to get blown away in a hurricane. And I understand what you're saying is like, yeah, brother, you can have the most beautiful house, you can have the most beautiful car, you can have the most beautiful life, but you do need some protection.
Just be fair.
So it's almost like a both. You need both.
But just to be fair, when two people enter into that agreement, that's what they talk about. They don't sit together talking about, hey, when we get divorced, and they sit to talk about those things. So the conversation is being had, it's almost between those two people. But when divorce happens, it happens in the court of public opinion, and it happens in the public court.
Yeah. So
Go ahead,
you asked me a question. That's why I was responding, because you asked me. I was going to respond to the question, but it is what it is. So remember, this is how you know, Adam. This is a true test. Allie, the top. If you want a true test to how someone views.
What you say?
I said, bitch mode. So it is what it is. Shut your bitch ass up, bro.
The world, see how balanced they are, right? So, like, let's see somebody politically. The best people politically are people like Adam. They can go hard on the right and go hard on the left. They can see the good in the right. They can see the good in the left. They have a balanced perspective of both sides. When someone's only.
So Trump was balanced? George Bush was balanced? Obama was balanced? Hillary? Nancy Pelosi? Okay.
Going hard here 24/7. You know, there's a little bit of offness. Like when my biggest thing.
Speaking of offness.
Wait, hold on.
Let's just look at that again.
I gotta shoot him some bell on that. I agree with what he's saying. I don't know why he would say politician, but I would say people that have opinions on politics. As far as, and I say this all the time, I think most people are more in the middle than on the right or on the left. And so when you have people that's just not just everything right is right or everything left is right, then I think that's more what he's talking about. Those are the people that it's kind of like, most people have more of a balanced opinion on politics than people actually express, and especially in the media, because you don't get paid for being moderate. You get paid for being super left or super right. So I think what he's saying is, I think instead of saying politicians, because you're right. I mean, and if that was his point, I think it would be a point of that's why politics is so trash. It's because people are so tribal on opinions which shouldn't even be tribal. But so yeah, I give him a little bit of bell on that.
I can't give him anything on that, because within this conversation, we've already been giving away out. He's speaking in terms of right and left, and Coach Greg Adams is speaking in terms of chronology, cause and effect. After this happens, this happens. After this happens, that happens. Not just the message, but he's focused on the message because he has a message that's going to lead to a sale.
Well, because
he's trying
to play the middle on all of this. That's his problem. He's trying to go, oh well, coach, you're right, but this other side is also right, and in which, it's true, but would I rather be protected, like Coach is saying, just in case something happens, as he used insurance, or do I want to go into this motherfucker with rose-colored glasses like you're insinuating, and end up like what's gonna happen to you when you get divorced and she fucking clean your ass out, and then you're not in that 1% bracket anymore. You back down here with us with the 99% as well, funny.
Yo, world class. When you get time, man, you gotta create. You know how you got the hands with
with old boy that you be playing sometimes.
Oh, with this shit.
You gotta create another one with this dude right here because he
new martial art he doing. Not this one.
you know,
It's fucking seat
That
food.
nigga's at the orchestra.
Right. This nigga done came up with seat food. Like,
yo, you got to, man. You have to, man. This dude is over the top, man.
at least
Have a balanced perspective of both sides.
look at
When
this.
someone's
God damn, nigga.
only going hard here 24/7, you
Yeah.
notice a little bit of offness.
Drill
Like
rapping.
when my biggest thing is I said balance. I didn't say far west emotional. I didn't say
Right.
far east logical. I said balance.
Correct.
My point is that if you're trying to tell somebody about buying a house, use a house example. Let's stay with the house example. If you're gonna sell somebody a house, because you know human beings need houses. Of course you're gonna add insurance to it. But this is how you're not gonna sell a house. Let me show you this beautiful house. Do you know if your house burns down and you're inside of it, you're gonna die? Do you know that there's all these electricity problems? You know when a hurricane comes, your house is gonna fall
you
down.
lose your commission if you sell it like that.
And if I'm trying to sell something to you and telling you every worst case scenario, hey Adam, come drive this Lamborghini. Do you know that Lamborghinis you can get in a crash, you can die? Do you know if you drive at a certain speed, you're gonna like? It's not either or, because this is what it blows my mind. I know how nihilistic these guys on the internet are, because they can't even tell the nuance. It's not either or, it's both.
Yeah.
I want you, please sit down with Coach and hear about the worst case scenario. Hear about how to protect yourself. Hear about the insurance.
I'm trying so hard to let him finish. I'm trying so hard. I'm doing the best I can to let him finish, because this is the epitome of mischaracterizing. He is not selling anything. In terms of the conversation, he's not selling something. He's telling you these are the results, and this is what we're doing as it relates to these results. And this is not the worst case scenario. This is normal. What Coach Greg Adams is talking about is putting us in the 90 to 80% range for all men across the country. And all of this shit is, he gave me the host gave me a little leeway on this. I'm gonna really drill his home. He's telling me how to win this debate, how to get the people. That's all he's doing. And I'm avoiding using y'all dumbass word I don't want to use no more. I hate it now. Fucking disingenuous shit. But that's what's going on. This is annoying, bro. I don't like people like this.
Want you to have that, but if all you're doing is watching him, I'm telling you, you're gonna be deceived, because all you're gonna be consumed about is the worst case scenario and the big bag boogeyman, aka the state, aka your woman screwing you over. You gotta hear the balance. You gotta hear the best of stories. And I remember Patrick Bet-David, shout out to PBD, said,
Men get custody of their children at a rate of 17.5% across the country. When it fails, for those that it fails for, you can get your custody of your children that started in your body as a male, went through a woman over 9 months. That's how long it took her to deliver it. They'll give it to her. Could you imagine if you ordered a pizza and you had a dispute and they let the delivery man keep it? Those guys get to keep what belonged to them, what came out of their body, which is their property, at a rate of 17.5%. Yes, Zone, I'm going about it like this. Yes, I'm explaining it like that. Those children originated in a man's body. All of us started in a man's body. We all belong to men. We do not come from women. That is a fact. We are the property of our fathers. And when a relationship fails, when a marriage fails, men across the country, all races, get custody at a rate of 17.5%. The flip side, the remaining percentage that gets to 100 is what Coach Greg Adams is talking about. But this nigga just said, if you listen to Coach Greg Adams, you'll be deceived. Ain't that a bitch?
would love to hear do a debate. On one end, People who've been married, happily married for 40 years, a beautiful marriage, and then the guy who's been in the worst divorce in human history. And then let the people hear both of the stories. And that's what I'm talking about. There's also good. There's also good that happens. There's horrible, but there's good. We need to share both stories. And my biggest problem is when we spend all day long, most of our time, because there's a profit model in it. And I shared to my guys in the Standard the profit model in it. CNN doesn't share anything positive about Donald Trump. Why? Because you don't make money that way. If I'm doing content on internet, I don't make money talking about health.
Okay. Let's just do this. Fuck it. Zone, you're younger than me. I've started watching TV in 2007. Does CNN still run commercials?
They do.
Does the companies that are on CNN that has commercials, do they have any affiliation with Donald Trump, or all of them? Like, do they make money depending on whether Donald Trump is promoted or not?
I mean, they make money regardless.
Yeah. So so what he just said is a lie, wasn't it?
Right.
Didn't I say he was a liar a little earlier?
Yep.
Okay. That's that. I don't. That's okay. I just want to make sure.
Marriages? Who wants to watch that crap? Know how to make money? Crazy, delusional women screwing men of their money. Clicks, views, CPM through the roof. I know how it works. I can show you for days. I can pull up my analytics. I know how all this stuff works. And so my biggest thing is that if we're going to have a conversation, we need to have a holistic conversation for the benefit of men. If we are saying that what's wrong in society is too many men being raised without their father, I want every man, even the nihilistic red pill dudes in the comments, I want every single man to have an ability to raise his son in his home.
This nigga is using so much of his muscles to be emotional, he's forgetting to breathe. Can't even fucking breathe through his emotional tirade.
This is insane, man. This is insane.
This is abusive. I did not think this was like this.
Crazy, man.
Jesus.
That's how I was raised. That's why I was made the man I am today. I had an amazing father who was able to raise me in his home. I want every man to raise his son in his home. And I want to give you every tool possible to be able to have it.
Okay. Let me not get triggered. Let's read the comments or something, because I'm getting triggered. I usually don't. That shit just pissed me the fuck off. Okay. Emotions. Sporty says emotions at its finest. At the end of the day, what's going on? Hope if this is your first time coming to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, share it out. I don't do a lot of reviews, and I usually don't do trends, which obviously, because it's been past, I don't like really following trends. I will in the future, but I'm just not a follower. I don't do shit like that. I be trying to get people to understand shit I said 10 years ago. And women can claim no ownership of what? Specify what you mean. Something I said, something he said. Jenny said, we're just the vessel that incubates and brings forth the end result. That's a fact. It's not debatable. There's none of this stuff. If you catch an attitude as a woman, then you're probably not a woman. It's a good chance. You're some damn demon that commandeered a female body that walks on two legs. That's what I'm going to say. They only run commercials and parts of programs they call segments. Facts. That's how they make money. Just like they only run ads between the YouTube videos, and they only run ads on Facebook. That's how they get money. So for him to say that is a lie. There's no reason. It makes him completely invalid. You're just saying shit just to say shit. He's 100% dumb. It doesn't make any sense to say something like that. Just to make a point that don't hit. XL Pro says my sister been married multiple times and was in church for years. If he's using hope strategy, this is the same. They've always been tied. The marriage industry and church, as distinguished from religion, because religion takes a lot of shit that it takes the blame for a lot of shit that it didn't create. The Bible and the Quran, Bhagavad Gita's, Dead Sea Scrolls never jumped off the table and kicked and hit none of y'all. It don't hit or hurt nobody. Be mad at the dumb church, the bullshit synagogue, and all these fake religious leaders who fuck children and do all that other shit. Be mad at them. Stop being mad at religion. Religion ain't do shit to you. Yeah, so okay. Just needed to kind of talk my way out of it because I was getting pissed. The reason men don't have their child in their life and they're not raising their child in their own home is because of the same people you're fucking protecting. It's because of the court system, the state, and their financial incentive to keep the mother to keep the child with the mother because she makes less money on average, because they're running numbers. It's not personal, it's just business. So that means that the dad is going to have to pay child support. The child is not in the dad's life and not growing up because the mom is alienating the father from the child for these purposes, because they know they can keep getting custody if they start the alienation process, which is a crime that these judges are not enforcing, which means they're complicit. And if we're to do anything, change the laws, fuck changing the laws, here's what I'll tell you that they don't want you to know. All of these judges and attorneys have bonds. Every case you has is supposed to have a bond. If they don't have a bond and they don't give their bond, it's a federal crime. Not only that, are they supposed to have these bonds that you can file claims against? It's supposed to be registered to the state. I'm sorry, registered with the IRS, so the IRS know that this court is making money. These are federal crimes that they're not following. These courts, these same courts as Big Bad, this is stuff that they're doing that they can go the fuck to jail for and be broke and lose all their money. This is not light stuff that I'm telling you. This is world-class information right now. Absorb it. The judges, attorneys on these cases have bonds with an insurance company. Find out what that insurance company is. Find out that person's name and get their bond number and file a claim. You don't have to worry about suing the state. The state will start to adhere. And they're supposed to, I'm gonna get the actual form that they're supposed to fill out. When they make this money transaction, it's supposed to be reported to the IRS. Okay? These females have been incentivized by them in the Bar Association. That's why I keep telling y'all, stop fucking marching on police officers. It's the Bar Association. They are the problem. You clicked on World Class, you subscribe, now you're getting real world class information. The Bar Association is the problem. The Bar Association is the problem. The Bar Association is the problem. They are the problem. Them. Giving these stupid piece of shit little females the incentive to do the shit that they're doing.
Shout out to Dr. Umar. You just pulled a Dr. Umar right now.
You have to understand that. Because you got to say something 3 times for people to hear you once. That's where he got it from. He knows psychology. It's the Bar Association. You have to understand that. Like, that's non-negotiable. It's them. They're in your contracts. They on this internet, your little terms and agreements on these social media platforms. They write them. The mortgages, they write them. The bills that get pushed, they write them. The community guidelines, they write them. They are uniform, and they are similar when you go through all of them. Yes, that's why they can just cut out Andrew Tate all across the board for damn near everything, because they're uniform, because they're written by the same person. So the conversation that's in this space, baby mama terrorists, etc., the court, this is where the conversation will be going in the next couple of years. Judges will be getting locked up. Courts will be getting shut down. This is what's going to happen. This is what's been happening. That's why the ones pretending to be yaoi are treating Kyrie the way they're treating him. There is nobody in the United States more dangerous than me. I'm not in no temple. I don't wear no mask. I don't wear no fez. I look like everybody else. And I'm teaching y'all etymology, parsing, and syntax, and that you're not Negro, black, and colored. I'm the most dangerous nigga breathing. And they can't fucking touch me. The conversation is, when it comes to family court, we're moving here. Next 2-3 years. You're going to see these niggas start getting locked the fuck up. And they can't do a motherfucking thing about it. but fuck up this channel and pay me. That's all. So to hear this bullshit, right? The stuff I'm saying and how accurate what I'm saying is, and you'll find out later, is why you got bitch niggas like this and Anton Daniels talking about what they're talking about, and these immigrants talking about what they're talking about. That's why I would prefer Westside not to go down the hole that he went down, because he's correct. The pressure is being put on them. People are starting to learn how to read their bullshit. I kind of wanted to touch on the Kyrie shit, but it's dudes like this, these immigrants, second year or first year, I don't know how you look at it, first year immigrants, second year immigrants, pushing this bullshit narrative because they can't get us to do it because people are learning. And less of us are on TV and on the internet. If I didn't have my sister Kay, I wouldn't be here. But she got everything handled on that end, and that's why I'm here. This shit that seems so hard to beat, it's not really that hard. When you know a couple of things, them judges turn into completely different people, and them bullshit ass police officers, they turn into bitches in court. All that shit they talk 10, 24 karat cash shit in these streets. But when they go in them courtrooms, them niggas is bitches. But that bullshit, I said all that to say, to get back to the real shit that you deal with in these spaces. Our men are not in the child's life because the mom is alienating. And these judges are aiding and abetting. Their confidence comes because of this system. And y'all gonna stop this daddy wasn't there shit. Daddy was alienated. Start correcting these bitches when they say that. I'm sorry, I'm not calling them bitches. I'm not gonna call North American females bitches because bitches are better mothers. A fucking dingy dog in France in the rain is a better mother than U.S. mothers. The #1 child murderers of all time, especially black females. 24,114,000 in 60 years, and that's not even true. That's the numbers from 1973 to now. I'm very interested in seeing what the attention span, what the confidence level is with these chicks if they can't kill and abuse children. I'm saying dad's not there. I don't care if you white. I don't care what your shit or pale skin, European. I don't care what it is. We don't have our dads because our moms found out that they're not good enough to be the only one. Because their consumer experience was interrupted. Not because dads don't want to be there. Your mom's minuscule, fragile little confidence that she's not going to get the praise from the females that she's afraid of. The females that she's in a dominant, submissive relationship are not going to praise her and allow her to get away with the dumb shit. So she'll fuck over a child. That's the reality, and I'm tired of hearing that stupid shit. Let you say that when I'm on the panel, I'm going to dog walk the shit out of you. I'm tired of hearing that dumb shit because it's a lie. Not because it's just because I don't like it. It's a lie. The concept of absentee fathers being a big thing is a lie, and it's always been a lie. Because a dad that's at fucking work is not absent, you stupid motherfucker. A father that's at war is not absent. He's doing the exact opposite. He's where the fuck he's supposed to be. Because your pussy wasn't good enough for him to want to be in yours only, ain't him being absent. Wash that motherfucker. Stop eating raggedy shit. Maybe it'll be good to a bitch nigga. But affluent men, we gonna fuck more than one. What you can do is watch me do it. Or keep your motherfucking mouth shut. But I'm telling you, it's a new day coming. I'm tired of the stupid shit. I'm tired of hearing that shit, bro. I'm done hearing it. 17.5% for all men across the country. All of them. And you know that we as fathers, we are the least in the 17.5%. Black females have got custody at a rate of 80 to 92%. This state, these family court, and these black females and these U.S. females, period, are running King Leopold numbers in these clinics, child deletions, And we're talking about men. This bitch motherfucker is talking about what men need to do. They keep selling shit when these people are fucking criminals. Black females kill 649 children a day, reported by the CDC. There's another statistic to say 1,000 a day. Let's just go with the 649. That's 27 children an hour. I've been on for 2 hours. That's 54 children gone guaranteed. Because they ain't closed Parenthood. They still got money. Roe versus Wade stopped. So, do you think they started to delete children less or more? Because they know the funding is going to be out. Okay. What do you usually see people do with their addictions? Yes, child murder is an addiction for U.S. females. They're addicted to it. It's a part of their freedom.
Oh, and let's not forget that these corporations are actually incentivizing women to go to states where it is legalized still to delete your baby. Let's not forget the Starbucks and the Chase Banks and all of these corporations that are complicit in the deletion of these babies.
There are nations that don't have 24 million people. Nations today. When you add all of them, it's 66 million. 66 million. 66 million people are gone since 1973. And this nigga is talking about men. Hey guys, let's do some math. How many males you think were getting those procedures? How many of them were males? 0. Because men can't get pregnant, remember? These chicks are Holocaust. They are the Holocaust. With their cemetery wombs. And this nigga got the nerve to sit up here. Like this is crazy. This is CDC records. It's not me making it up. It's not my personal rant. Oh, this is what's going on in my life. These are the facts. 2020 stats. These are 2020 stats I'm reading. 2020. It was 2 years ago.
And on top of that, you know, because there's a lot of immigrant talk online, you can't talk about the immigrants coming over here, flooding the nation by the hundreds of thousands, and neglect the fact that women right here on the soil are taking out the population.
Indeed.
That's a very huge contradiction.
Indeed. And then from all people, a Nigerian, which in your fucking country, y'all crime rate is 66%. Your homicide rate is 37%. You know what ours is here? 5. Huh. Ain't that a bitch?
Healthy marriage, to be able to be a father who's present. And so my biggest thing is all we're talking about what's wrong, especially in the Black community, all that's going to lead to is more single moms, more broken homes, and more of the same BS that's going on today. And to me, I'm sick of it. I want to move forward in society.
So is that essentially your biggest problem with the red pill community, is that it's all negative, it's all insurance, it's all what could happen bad?
And they have to be real. There's an
Right. Because if somebody got a fucking heart murmur, it's the heart surgery is supposed to be fucking positive. They came to the place because it's a problem. Not because they want to sit around a fucking campfire and say kumbaya. If your stupid ass have not had your child kept from you with police supporting, please shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Goes to Tommy point earlier. Why are you talking about this? It's negative. It's not a fucking consumer experience, bro. To know your child somewhere and can't get to him. These people will participate and keep you from your child, but they'll lock you up for 2-3 years for a piece of weed. A piece of it. whether it was yours or not. And will tell you, well, you shouldn't have had it. But they will aid and abet in fucking child kidnapping. Huh. Ah, boy.
Incentive structure for it. I shared some of these people these numbers. I'm gonna share some of these numbers with you. I did a video because it's so funny because the red pill community, those kind of guys, they're so fickle, and they love you when you bash women, but the moment you share any objectivity, showing both sides, now all of a sudden they're demonizing you, right? So it's very interesting that I do videos that are critical of modern men and modern women. I try to be as balanced as possible. I know for a fact my content will be weak if it's imbalanced. So I like to do as balanced as possible. I did a video a couple months ago called the why women today are not marriageable. I did that video talking about some of the principles that I believe are true, why women have issues, and we can go on that for days. That video did over 500,000 views in 2 weeks.
Big time.
I did another video called The Sad Reality of Beautiful Women, talking about how sometimes attractive women have an air of entitlement about themselves that makes them difficult in relationship. Another video, 500,000 views. The reality of the matter is, in that month alone, I told the guys in the Standard, I'm just being transparent and honest, with those two videos, and then Candace Owens coming on the podcast talking about the problems of modern women, we made $55,000 that month. $55,000 just doing a few videos. And I know almost everybody in the space, and everyone shows me their money. And I was making the least of what everybody else is making. But when I do the other content, Adam, the more balanced content, there's not clicks in it. There's not views in it.
What type of content?
Like let's say if I was do a video about, hey guys, here are signs, like let's say the 5 things to pick in a wife. Those kind of guys don't want to hear that. They want to hear 5 things wrong with women today. Yeah. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear more of the negative stuff. They want it reinforced, like CNN. Like CNN does not want to hear 5 things great about Donald Trump. Hell no. CNN don't want to hear that. Give me 5 things wrong with Trump. And so to me, when you're doing balanced content, even when you're doing male
Hey, did you go back a few? Did you see when Coach Greg Adams looked at the camera?
How far back?
That's what they want to hear. They want to hear more of the negative stuff. They want it reinforced, like CNN. Like CNN does not want to hear 5 things great about Donald Trump. Hell no. CNN don't want to hear that. Give me 5 things wrong with Trump. And so to me, when you're doing balanced content, even when you're doing male improvement stuff, because I think there's a difference between real male improvement, because it has to improve the lives of men. Fitness, emotional health, spiritual growth. When you're doing that don't get views. And views in my comments would always talk about this, that dang, the girl stuff gets 10x the views of the male improvement stuff. And also when Fresh and Fit will tell you the same thing when they do their finance stuff.
Yeah.
Colin,
what's going on?
I heard you say I didn't know if you knew this.
No, I'm just asking you what's going on. I get that. I don't know why you're not listening to me.
No hair.
Back up for a second. I just want to get clarity. You hear what you're saying out loud, brother?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Did he just bring up Fresh and Fit? Am I tripping?
Yes, he did.
Huh.
They've always told me, I don't know if things have changed. They've told me when they do finance, dudes don't watch that, but they want to watch the girl stuff, right?
Well, and look at the girls that they have, the Fresh and Fit. You know, I've talked with them, and I told them I would love to do a one-on-one, but I'm definitely the exception rule, so I'm not great for that. But they bring girls on there that are very. I don't want
to make it about Fresh and Fit because nothing but respect. I don't like to criticize anybody who's not in the room. I was just bringing them up about the point of they told me when they do finance, the other guys don't watch them. So my thing is that there's not a financial incentive. So if you're a content creator, Adam, and I'll give you an example, and you know if you do this type of content, you're making $50,000 a month, you do the other, you make 6. Which one are you going to lean towards?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So as a content creator, who like I this is our first time we're meeting in person.
Sure.
But you strike me as a person who's just telling it like it is, based on your life experience, okay? You don't seem like the type of person who's like, well, I could say this for clicks, but this does better. Right. But there must be a little bit of element in that, maybe how you do thumbnails or titles.
Absolutely.
So Hafeez is speaking very impassionately, making some very valid points.
That's what he's talking about is absolutely true. But what we have to understand is when you're doing content, you have to kind of pick a lane in a genre. I mean, if you go to OnlyFans and you start wearing a mother gown, you ain't gonna get no clicks.
Hey, there's a market. There's a market for everything.
There's a market for it. But you
coach.
I know there's a market for it, but I don't see you doing that tomorrow. But the reality is this: I have 12 YouTube channels. All right, and not all of them are this content, and it is true. Those channels struggle if I'm doing something else, but that's the reality of the situation. It would be like. I love the example that he gave. You wouldn't sell a house like this. Of course, no wise salesman would give you the negatives. Yeah. They would tell you something in order to make the commission. So in essence, he's shooting himself in the foot. But on my side, I have to keep a lane and make sure people understand what that is. Of course, if I crossed over and I brought balance, sure, it might fall flat on my audience because they may not be interested in that. However, I'm going to say this and I'm going to add this. Many times if I brought on a female content creator and sat down and had an interview in a one-on-one, most of the conversation, if we did bring the balance, will start leaning over to her. And people know this. They watch television. They see movies and stuff like that. Every 1 point that they would make towards a man to get him to pay attention, they'd have to make 5 or 10 points for the woman. So it's kind of like, hey, CGA, you raining down on their head over here today. And then they would tell me to back off. All right, come on, man. We can't let them feel a certain way. And that's kind of just how it works. So I have to stay in that lane and be honest to my approach. The minute I bring it over to the other side, then the other side's going to lean. And I'll just add this. If I really wanted to make money, I'll be out here praising the woman. I'll be out here uplifting the woman. I'll be a millionaire.
I think it goes back to personal accountability too, though. People consume. You're going to sit there and consume the same content.
That's their thing.
Personal accountability. I consume content that I generally align with, but I'm also very wise enough to know I should also consume content that counteracts with what I believe, because otherwise then you never learn. And I don't think there's anything wrong with staying, like you said, in your lane. You got your niche, and that's kind of where you go.
Choices. And one more thing. If people wanted to watch finance, if I came on and I do some finance-related videos, but I don't have a finance degree, I'm just offering advice. If people want that, there's how many billions of YouTube channels out there? They can find somebody else for that, and that's probably why my finance video won't get clicks. They know my lane, and they'll want to hear this information.
People need to make sure they're having accountability.
Well, to circle back to what he says, and I love how passionate you are, bro. Life is all about balance, okay? If you're living in echo chambers, or if you're an extremist to any, and whether it's politically, whether it's financially, whether it's romantically, any sort of extremist has major blind spots. So striking the balance, whether it's the East and West, whether it's the pros and cons of marriage, I think is important, and it's a very nuanced discussion. A lot of people are like, oh, this is the way it is, and it's black and white. Like Allie mentioned, there's a lot of gray area in all this. Let me move on to the next topic. Nat, do you want to weigh in here on are there any comments you want to super chats, or should we wait a second?
We can wait. Let's get some questions. I know we have a lot of super chats that are comments. I want to get some good questions for our guest today. So if you guys want to put those in the chat, I'd really appreciate it, and then we can read them in a little bit.
Awesome. So we've got about an hour left. We'll definitely spend some 5-10 minutes answering some questions. So we can do that towards the end. So Nat, you keep a track of that.
Gotcha.
I want to kind of go deeper on the mindset of women today, right? So you've done a video, vetting women, basically choosing the right woman versus basically the dangers of the wrong mate selection. And you talked about basically her financial situation and her background, how student loan debt, 70% of women have student loan debt. You assume their debt. Modern women, you talked about entitlement mentality. But you've spent, 20 years coaching women?
Yeah, right around 20, 15 to 20 years. Yeah.
And you were a basketball coach?
Basketball, yes.
Okay. And you've said things like, women are not special. They only care about themselves in certain videos like this. What have you learned about female nature being around this many women for this many years?
Well, I don't know what you're paraphrasing for. I don't know the women aren't special. I don't know if I said that exactly. I think possibly what I was alluding to is that we've put them in a position in society to believe that they're the prize when we bring valuable things to relationships. So I want to make sure I clarify that. A statement like women aren't special was very generic. So I don't believe I said something like that, but I probably could have said something like that. With that being said, I want people to really look at the long-term pictures of relationship, and especially for men. When men pursue women, we have to pedestalize them in the sense, and we have to demonstrate to them why they're so valuable at that point in life. However, the tide changes and the pendulum swings. There's significant amount of value that men have and bring into relationships that they discount. And I'm telling men, you're discounting this value, and men don't find out what that value is until later.
Yeah, you're saying to play the long game. Essentially what you're saying.
Understand the long game, because a lot of times we only look at the short term, right? There's a phrase with married people we use, men get married and hope their woman will never change.
Right.
Women get married, hope their men will change. Inevitably, both of them are disappointed. And we know this throughout the statistics and mostly through experience and conversations we've had. The reality is men look at the short term. They don't realize, as we know, women aren't going to sleep with you as a husband. Or they may continue to leverage that as she leveraged it in your pursuit because you pedestalized it. That's going to be an error, and you're going to have a hard time trying to realize that. Not only that, there's nobody you can turn to that can help you. Nobody's going to go to your wife and say, hey, you're doing it wrong. Go sleep with your husband. Go suck him off. All right? Go make your husband feel good. Go tickle his balls. Guess what? He has no way to leverage. He has no way to turn that tide. And then he's stuck. And as we know, he's not going to pull the trigger on that marriage. That's just the reality.
Do women have these types of conversations that he's kind of alluding to, and the fact that you're like, I go my husband gets sex all the time. Do women have these types of conversations internally?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard women talk about it and stuff. I have a different perspective because sex has always been important. Expectations are the same.
To someone like that.
In society, if she does operate in the spirit of rebellion, where this is coming from? Yeah.
Do you have any children, daughter, son?
I do. I have a daughter and a son.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to them.
Okay.
My son's probably watching.
How old, Coach?
They're teenagers now, 16 and 15, back to back. Yeah.
So I do have a question. What would be kind of the language you would speak to your daughter about these things? How old is she?
16.
16.
Yep.
So she's getting into the boy age and all that stuff. Kind of. Yeah. Look at that.
He's
smile.
like, don't mention
He's
it.
like, oh no. But what would be how do you give advice to somebody who is your daughter, knowing the good and the bad, and knowing that you do want her to get married and find a high value man? How is that language transferred to someone like that?
Well, see, I don't speak to that age group in terms of giving my content. So I wouldn't sit a group of young women.
But there are people who are that age receiving the content.
They're men, young men. Yeah, so I'm not going to talk to a group of women my daughter's age and have this conversation, especially as direct. So this personal conversation about my daughter is not relative to who I send out to my audience. So I don't target her. I don't target people in her age group. I don't target that. Now, if we have personal discussions about what she should look out for and what I'm looking out for her best interest, I'm hoping that she doesn't come in the spirit of rebellion, which typically is of women that age, because I've coached them. I know this to be true. If she does operate in the spirit of rebellion, as any other Disney movie that you could see, the daughter rebelled against the king father. And it's actually supported in society. I try to have as minimal a conversations as I can with this, because if I send a certain approach to this age group, they're going to rebel. They're going to believe that I don't know what I'm talking about, X, Y, and Z. So I've seen enough Ariel, I've seen enough Jasmine to know that if you push these things in this way to young women, especially young women that are your daughters, it's not going to be received well.
So how?
Well, yeah, he wanted he crushing it, bro. I don't know what to say. I seen one part that was horrible. I guess it's the remaining couple of minutes. Not a couple of minutes. It's a little bit more than a couple of minutes. Trying to get to that one part. I think I clipped it. I don't know. I might not have. It's possible it's after this shit. But if it is, we'll do number 2, a part 2. But we got Professor in the building. What's going on, Professor?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
What's going on, man?
Carrying on, listening in, see where I can plug in here. There's a big point here. I'm hoping that everybody hears this because, you know, we can ramble on about every other kind of bullshit, but if we take this seriously and screw down the facts, you're not going to want to deal with none of this stuff, and you're going to want better. Period.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's get through this.
How do you feel if, like...
I don't feel anything.
Okay, you don't feel anything. That's
Yeah.
fine. What would be your take if your daughter gets married and he's a high-value man and he's cheating on her? And she comes to you in a sense like, Dad, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's going on. Like, what do I do?
Well, as I said, I can offer her some fatherly advice in the situation.
Can you give us an example?
No, because what tends to happen is people use this particular argument to try to see if I can change my position.
No, it's not even a change in position.
I know,
It's
but
just-
see,
it's
this
curiosity.
is a very I know
Because
it's
there's a lot
curious.
of men who are fathers and they think about that and they're like, wait, how do I, you know?
Exactly.
And that would be a realm of like, you know how many, like a lot of men have daughters out there and maybe they don't know how to have that conversation or like how to seek some sense of comfort for a young female girl going out into the world.
The best way to...
What'd you say?
I said, Coach Greg on this shit. They ain't about to try to flip his shit.
Fact.
No, they can't trip him up. Forget that. They cannot trip him up. These are amateurs.
Yeah, the ladies don't know what they're talking about. They're just saying to chicks, they're just saying anything.
have an open ear of a woman as if she's experienced. So a lot of times if I tell her, obviously that's going to be a situation where she'd be more likely to listen. But anybody that's ever been a father and had young women, and of course I'm sure you have a father, and to Hafeez's point, we probably saved a lot of men from being single fathers or at-risk fathers. At this point, when you're dealing with young women, they need to get the experience first until they have an open ear. With men, on the other hand, because they have a lot of places to turn to, but I wouldn't use my content and then try to frame it in a position of what I would do with my daughter, because that's a kind of a personal situation,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely,
It's
yeah.
a personal situation. Because that way, then you say, oh, are you telling this guy not to marry your daughter and to cheat on your... No. Because my daughter, same way as I wouldn't date my daughter, but I could date people in that daughter's range once she's 20, 25, 30.
So my
it's
question
not
to
the
you-
same thing.
Gotcha.
Do you want your daughter to get married? Yes or no? Or you're not going to answer that question?
She can get married if she would like to.
Do you want her to?
I don't think it's necessary in this age. No.
For a woman?
For a woman.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You don't think it's necessary for women to get married?
Why?
Western marriage, there's no longer a necessity for it. Unless you were looking out for something in the future, potentially if you want to have children. So if she said, hey, I'm looking to get married, I want to have kids, I'd probably say the best context would be to get married. But that doesn't mean get married to anyone. You see what I mean? There are ways that I can level this. Do I want her to get married? Yes or no? Well, who is she marrying? When?
Yeah,
Where? How long? There's a whole bunch of context.
I get it. I get exactly what he's saying, because I've been like that my whole life with these chicks that's in a romance, in a romantic relationship with relationships. I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to get married. I want to get a boyfriend. Like, okay, to who? Like, how do you have all these things that you would? I would do this with my boyfriend. I'll be a good girlfriend if I. Who are you talking about? How do you have this fantasy, all this shit already in your mind? Like, who's the person? It's weird to me. I don't really understand that. I got all this love to give, and I just want to. How do you have love for somebody that's not there? What are you talking about? It's weird. And to arbitrarily just answer that, it's like, no. And here's the thing that I love that he's doing. I tell guys this: don't mix public with private. Stop using inside lingo on outside people. Why do you think it's appropriate for you to ask me what I'll ask my daughter as a dad in private? I mean, in public. We're in public. Why should I tell you something private? It's disrespectful.
But to me, it's just not a yes or no question.
So, Hafeez, what's your issue with this? Go ahead.
So it's always an interesting conversation, because to me, like one of the things I'm obsessed with, and Dr. Peterson talks about this so well, is that the more your words are in line with the truth, the more powerful those words are. And I don't know where you are, if you believe in God or not. I don't know who kind of person you are, but like when you line your words up with God, Like, that's when, to me, your words have the most weight. Dr. Peterson, that's why I feel like he's so powerful. His words transcend humanity, and it speaks on this divine level. And so, to me, when you're giving advice, your advice has to be as in line with what God believes the world should run as possible. And so, to me, the best advice benefits men and benefits women. That's the best advice. To your opinion, we had 70 years of advice only benefiting women and men suffering as because of it. That is a lie. That is wrong. And the opposite extreme is wrong as well. A world where it all benefits men and the women don't benefit, it's wrong. That's why it's about.
This is brutal.
I disagree with that last statement that he said.
I disagree with 97% of what he was saying right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, who built airplanes? Who built the house that you're living in? Who built the apartment complex that you're renting out of? Who built automobiles before robots? I mean,
amen.
Yeah.
They got to benefit both, he said, though. So, yeah. You're right. That's what I think is going on, because I don't even get his point at this point. The Church Almighty Simp Enforcer. That's exactly what this nigga is.
About the balance. And so, to me, I'm very curious about. I love her questions because it was like it's not a gotcha question. It was a genuine, serious question.
It's not a genuine question asking somebody about their private information in the public. It's not.
Shout out my guy AMS. I love AMS. He did a video about, advice I would give to my daughter, where he actually answers the questions directly. And so, to me, I'm very interested in those.
His little feminist shots that he's taking is actually annoying. And he did it earlier when he said that the guy that's doing the interview will be a good politician than he looked at Coach Greg Adams. It's very feminine. I can't. I hate seeing feminist males. It's annoying.
Questions, because like when I would watch Kevin Samuels and God rest.
That shit is crazy, Savannah. I just read this and then he just said that Hafeez loves name dropping and book dropping to gain credibility. Literally just said that.
And it was so powerful because he would always push women to being married because he knew the beauty and the value and the protection and the safety, like being a woman and being married. Nobody wants their daughter to be 41 years old, single, baby mama of 3. Nobody wants that for their daughter, especially if they want kids. So
the want doesn't matter. What Coach Greg Adams actually says, and listen, you listening to somebody, I don't think I've watched more than a half an hour total of Coach Greg Adams before today. What he actually said was, you don't the marriage contract in the United States is I'm paraphrasing, obsolete. You don't need it. That's what he said. It's not about whether you want it or not. That's not a relevant question, and that can't be a genuine question having listened to Coach Greg Adams over this time frame. He's expressed and made it clear that the contract here in the United States, as it relates to marriage, is trash. So whether he wants it or not is irrelevant.
to me, I think the part of the conversation needs to be, is this information benefiting both human beings? When you're on Team Men, it only needs to benefit Team Men. If you're on Team Republican, it only needs to benefit Team Republican. If you're on Team America, it has to benefit all Americans. If you're on Team Human, it has to benefit both males and females. So that's why I loved her questions, because I think the best, like, I can give my hardcore advice to benefit men, and I know without a shadow of a doubt, the most hardcore advice that benefits men simultaneously benefits women.
One more thing I'll add to that, and I hope I don't mean to offend you. There's no God in marriage in the United States, so that's kind of misleading, and people will find that out if your marriage is destroyed. You go back to your pastor and you say, hey, my marriage is being destroyed. He has no power over that because it is a state agreement.
Bang, bang, bang,
I'm
bang,
just
bang, bang.
got that play a couple of
Bang,
times.
bang, bang.
He just forgot to add bitch ass nigga.
Bang, bang, bang.
The truth.
Bang, bang.
The truth.
Bang,
Coach is the truth
bang,
for real.
Bang, 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 bang.
Dom DeMarco. Dom DeMarco.
So
he's fucking destroying this nigga, bro. This shit ain't even close. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Coach Greg Adams. Go holler at him. Tell him Palmer sent him. I want Palmer to get all the credit. Tell him Palmer sent you. Yeah, that was bad. That's a point, and that is what I was saying when I brought where's it at? Let me see. I might have dropped it back down. Yeah, I might have dropped it back down. Stop sharing that. Okay, no problem. I had the website up. But that was my point, man. You can't have a marriage is not with the state. It's between man and woman. Your authority is already from God. All these courts, all of these governments across the planet already know that. This is not new. It's not some slick way. It's not wordplay. It's a fact. What supersedes all of y'all constitution is the Holy Quran of Mecca, is the Bhagavad Vedas, is the Helios Bibliothecas, aka the Holy Bible. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was recognized as the greatest lawgiver in the last 1,500 years. It's also world-class information. You think I'm lying, like I said last time, Zone, right? If you think I'm lying, let's think back over when they was giving the jab. What stopped it? Religious exemption. It supersedes in terms of jurisdiction because those Bibles are older than these countries. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I'm in healthcare, and yeah, they was trying to give us that jab like ASAP, and I work in the drug industry. That's what I do. The only thing that stopped me from getting it was my religious beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Oh, and then you ran down a list of books. Let's not forget the Book of Zone. The Book of Zone is being written as well. Yes. The Book of Zone is in the works. It will be up there as well. Yes.
Okay. Hold on. We got something. We have something for that.
Are you done? Are you done?
No.
I ain't know he was coming out with his own line of weed trays.
Bang, 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 bang.
You said no fools allowed.
Bang,
You brought it
bang,
up.
bang, 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 bang.
Just one more for the bro.
Bang, 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 bang.
I ain't gonna give you a Don DeMarco that time.
I will bring you back to make sure you understand and I counsel men. There's no God in marriage. That's been gone. Listen, it was an old idea. It's absolutely gone unless you live in an American South. Most people on the West Coast, many people in the East, Midwest, there's no God in marriage. So we
break
know
that down. What do you mean there's no God in marriage?
There's no God in marriage. So people get married. One of the things that they will do is they will seek counsel of the church. And then as such, the guys will give them guidance and it will be biblical principle. However, they will say we can't do anything until you sign this state-sponsored agreement with family law context. All right. They're not going to have a Bible in there. They're not going to have a Bible in that divorce court. The judge is not going to ask you, do you like God? And what about God in your marriage? There will be no context to that. And such, what is the overriding principle here?
Does he
your
have a
marriage
point there,
is
Hafeez?
state funded,
No,
not God
like
funded.
he just made a random point that
I didn't make it random. I told you that this will offend
first,
you.
Was I,
and
what
it's
did I
now
say?
offended you.
What did I say? No, it didn't offend me. You're just wrong. Let me say what I
I'm
said.
wrong. Wait.
Let me finish.
I'm absolutely right.
Let me finish.
There's no God in the marriage in the United States.
Then you can talk. Let me finish.
No, hold for a second.
Let me finish.
Are you going to say there's
can I
no
finish,
God in
Adam?
marriage in the United States?
Coach, finish your point. You're saying there's no
Why
God in marriage in the United States.
Correct. Get the fuck out. This dude out of his fucking mind. I cut you off, and then you tell me, let me finish, and then I'll let you keep on going. Man, I've been ready to slap the shit out that bitch nigga.
Facts. All that and then some. That shit right there. That's what I was waiting for. I didn't know where it was at, but I had seen this clip or somebody else go over it, man. Let's just watch that shit again. And just catch the goofy shit. Girl, we don't hush. Y'all just out here trying to breed. Hush. Job turkey.
All right. I'm sorry, I got lost in a train of thought of just all that goodness I just heard.
Washed.
They would be fools to resist my divine power.
His death was a necessary loss. Soon I will have a new apprentice, one far younger and more powerful.
Remember, when a king is loved as I am, much can be accomplished.
We didn't do this because we like you. We did this because we are you.
Boom, the world class.